Gentlemen and members of the panel, as you know from your file, we have quite a significant number of questions, some of which are really important. So I'm going to take this particular question. I'm going to ask you just to raise your hand if you agree. In the event you should be required to take over as governor, would you be willing to defy or nullify any federal law, regulation, or order that our Attorney General considers unconstitutional? That didn't take very long, did it? We got conservatives on the stage. We're coming to the Second Amendment. There have been a number of questions come in from the audience regarding Second Amendment. My simple question, let's start with Corey Stewart. Please explain your position on the Second Amendment. And you can be shorter than your minute and a half if you want.
I rarely agree with anything coming out of Hollywood. Bruce Willis yesterday, I don't know, how many did you see that? Bruce Willis said, if you let the Second Amendment fall, all the others will follow soon thereafter. And I agree with him. Absolutely. We cannot, there's no compromise here, folks. I know the left would like, and the mainstream media would like to portray us as some sort of extremists. The fact of the matter is, if we don't protect the Second Amendment, by the way, the Second Amendment doesn't say you have the right to bear arms only for hunting or personal protection. It's there for a reason, to protect against tyrannical government.
I agree the Founding Fathers were very specific in the Constitution regarding our right to bear arms. It's not just so we can carry a gun, but it is that hedge against tyranny, that government overreach. It is what protects our freedom. So I am 100% gun rights, and that includes constitutional carry, and I will lead on constitutional carry if you do elect me as your Lieutenant Governor.
Seems fairly simple. A Virginian wrote the Bill of Rights. And in 2013, it is going to be up to Virginians to stand up and fight for all of those Bill of Rights. Not just the Second Amendment, but all of them. The entire world is going to be watching us. Chris Christie cut his deal. There's not going to be a race of any real proportions in New Jersey. The entire world, the entire country is going to be watching. How does Virginia react? Do we stand up for liberty? Do we stand up and defend the Second Amendment? We have to, folks. And when times are tight, when bad things happen, like what happened in Connecticut, the tragedy that happened there in December, we need to pause. We need to pray, but we don't get to pick and choose which of our civil liberties we decide to keep or we decide to fight for just because some liberal may say it's socially unacceptable. They're all worth fighting for, folks, and we got to do it this year.
Next to life itself, it is the most important thing. Without the Second Amendment and of the Bill of Rights, it's the most important element of the Bill of Rights. Because without the Second Amendment, you have no assurance of the balance of the Bill of Rights. That's right. Under the President and Vice President's proposals, the 22-inch rifle that I got when I was 12 years old would be an assault rifle. Because it holds 22 shorts. And it holds fewer longs. But that would be an assault rifle under the President's and Vice President's proposal.
In the United States Marine Corps, I was trained on a .45 automatic and an M16. Now, I am a gun owner. I love the Lord. But if you walk into my house with the intent of hurting me and my family, I will shoot you and then pray for you. Now, either it's a God-given right or it's not. And if it is, I don't want anybody telling me how many bullets I might need to defend my family or what kind of gun I can have to defend my family. The Second Amendment is very, very clear. The right of the people to keep and bear arms shall not be infringed. That's pretty easy to understand, and I stand on it.
I've been sitting for most of the questions. I'm going to stand for this one. In my first election, some guy walked up to me and said, where are you on gun control? And I said to him, I'll control my guns, you control yours. Folks, let me tell you something. The people who stand against the freedom agenda want the Second Amendment gone. You don't need any other explanation. And what I'm here to tell you is the people who don't understand the Second Amendment, and this is what they don't understand. You take the Second Amendment, they're going to come get another one, and 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 another one. And folks, real simple, get this straight. Over my dead body.
Here I go following those two again. You know, I'm aware of the mail that's gone out and the SayNoToJeanMarie.com website, all being done by an individual, Ed Levine, because I disagree with him on one issue. But I do agree with Wayne LaPierre in his 1999 press conference representing the NRA that we should have a background check at gun shows. Other than that, I don't support gun control. I owned a .357 Magnum for 21 years, and when my husband was out of town and the alarm went off, the first thing I did was go to the safe, grab that gun, and look for whoever had broken into my house to protect my 4 daughters. Every one of my daughters has been to the shooting range multiple times because I think it's important for them to understand how to handle a gun. So I am a Second Amendment rights supporter. I am a gun owner. My daughters know how to shoot. And anything that you hear otherwise is not true. Thank you.
Let's start this one. We finished this, yes, thank you. Let's start this one with Pete. Do you support the Castle Rule that provides protection from civil and criminal legal provisions when use of deadly force is used protecting your own home and property?
2 words. Yes and amen.
That works nicely.
Yes, and the best gun control comes when you've gripped it with both hands. And Wayne LaPierre said that he supported background checks for purchases made through dealers at gun shows, but not between individuals.
I think I already answered this question.
Yeah, this is pretty easy. I mean, the truth of the matter is everybody has a right to their self-defense. I mean, this is probably one of the easiest questions this evening, but I will say this, and those of you who follow the issue very, very closely, last year we did have a Castle Doctrine bill that was not a good one, and you have to be very, very careful about the one that you bring, because the one that came in actually would have weakened our rights to defend ourselves. So you got to have some experience down there to really look at this legislation, because some of the stuff that really looks great when you're reading the bill summaries, when you start reading the bill, they stink. So I think we have to be very, very careful, not in the effort to try to strengthen ourselves and our rights, to be very, very careful what we do. Because if you're not, you wind up weakening them. And so I don't think we need to weaken the castle doctrine. The sign on my house is real clear. There is nothing in this house for you to come in worth losing your life.
So when it was E.W. Jackson's turn, Scott leans over to me and says, we're napping down here. I don't think these questions are challenging enough. Need more challenging questions for these two. I think that I explained that I support the castle rule when I told you how I was handling the alarm going off in my house and I needed to protect my daughters. I think everyone has the right to protect their property.
Yes. You know, I have to say, sorry, Jean Marie, say, blessed are the brief, for they shall be elected.
He said sorry because he just stole my line.
Yes, and I have said this before, that even my husband is a retired Marine, but if someone breaks into our home and it's up to one of us to defend our two children, that intruder is going to be better off if the Marine has the gun than me.